Hey everybody, CHM Carnivorous here. I hope you're doing well. I wanted to talk to you really quick, create a video for you about what to do if your pitchers or your pitcher plants rather are not pitchering, and if they are pitchering, but the pitchers just aren't getting to that size that you think they should be. Now, there are a couple things that you can do. The first thing is to grow them in a grow tent or grow space that's going to keep and lock in humidity. That will help out, but not everybody has that that ability to grow or have a grow tent, right? They take a lot of size. One thing you can do is have a humidifier nearby. This is a larger humidifier that pumps out all day, and it keeps the ambient temperature or ambient humidity at about 70%. And that ambient humidity will help as this air mists up. The plant will absorb that. Think about these tendrils, right? They take a lot of energy for the plant to produce, and those tendrils, the plant is pumping air into those tendrils and inflating them. If the plant, if there's not enough moisture in the air, that skin, if you will, those cells are not malleable and they can't grow, and so the plant will terminate that growth point to save the energy because it realizes there's not enough humidity in the air. Now, if you can't, if you're growing them inside or you just don't have the ability to get a humidifier, there are other options. You can use the spray method, and simply what you would like to do is each day or every other day spray the tendrils with a little bit of water, and that will help keep those tendrils moist. You don't have to go crazy and soak them, but just enough to keep those tendrils moist, and will continue to allow them to grow. Another option, if you don't want to go around spraying water, I've seen a grower do this. Bergen Water Gardens does this, or they used to. I don't know if they still do, but they'll grow their Nepenthes in big bucket, like big tubs, and they'll keep the Nepenthes off from the standing water, which is very important. But those tubs will have water in the bottom of them, and as the heat of the day increases, that water will evaporate and rise up around the plants, and in that case, it will produce more humidity. I've used that method before, but I grow in a grow tent, so the temperatures are more stable. It's a little tougher to get that humidity or that evaporation rather. Another option that you can do if you want to not do tubs is sphagnum moss. You can have sphagnum moss around your plants. Essentially, the more foliage that you have, the higher the humidity levels will be. So as you can see, I've got a lot of gaps in my plants or in the grow tent. As these plants grow and they fill in, naturally the humidity will continue to increase because the ambient humidity will increase. The plants will let out more moisture. There'll be less room for the moisture to go, less free space for it to grow, and that moisture will increase. And so you can always grow your plants close together in clusters like that, and that will help out quite a bit. Now, let's say that your pitchers are forming, they are producing, but they're just not quite up to snuff. You've had a big chunky pitcher one month, and the next month the pitchers are very small. Now, normally this could be a cause of several different stressors, but one of the common ones is that you went through a dry spell. Maybe the plant got a little too dry for the liking, and so the tendril could not grow like it should. In that case, there are a couple options you can do. Obviously, you got to make sure, or do your best to make sure that you keep the temperature as regulated as possible. A lot of the hybrids are very okay, very tolerant of humidity jumps and dips. Now, not all of them are, depending on your variety that you have. So you want to do whatever you can to try to keep that humidity at a constant level. I know that's easier said than done. So there are other options you can do. One is making sure that your sphagnum moss stays wet, or damp rather, not soaked, but damp at all times. I do struggle with that, and I am working on making sure that that stuff stays wet. That soil dampage, even though that helps the roots, will evaporate again into the plant, and then will help those tendrils as well. You can also use Osmocote pellets or any sort of insects, feed the plant, and that feeding the plant will give the plant more energy to produce its growth. And lastly, once you have your pitchers developed, you don't want to put too much water into them because it will dilute the pitcher enzymes that are in there to break down food, but you can go ahead and put a little bit of water in there to help them grow. All right, so this is just a few tips. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. Please let everybody know. Again, the goal of CHM Carnivorous is get the word out to as many people as possible about these amazing and excuse me, often unfortunately endangered plants. I hope you guys have a great night, and I look forward to talking to you soon.